Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the show.
To Hume-Fogg's Fall Band Concert. I'm Anna Maria Miller, the Director of Orchestras, and I also have the great honor and pleasure to assist Mr. Kennedy with the concert band. This evening, we are going to start with a piece called Alien Autopsy. It was written by Clarence Barber. He wrote it for his granddaughter and her high school band. You're going to hear a lot of different non-traditional, actually maybe some odd percussion instruments throughout, and it is supposed to take you into like more of an alien world. Now, just so you know, this isn't a typical piece that I would choose. So I think I must have been in an altered state the day that I chose this. I was sitting there listening to music and this one came on and I was like, oh, this is the one that I need right now. So as soon as I told Mr. Kennedy and he heard it, he went ahead and ordered it before I could even change my mind. So I think it's a fun piece. This is all about having fun, and so I hope you enjoy our Hume-Fogg concert band and their performance of Alien Autopsy. director here, Director of Bands, Mr. Alan Kennedy. Would you please give him a big round of applause?
As Ms. Miller pointed out, my name is Mr. Alan Kennedy, and it's a pleasure to meet you for those I don't have met yet. And welcome to Hume-Fogg and spending your Thursday evening at our school and our concert. I'm super proud of the concert band and the wind ensemble and percussion ensemble, and we're really excited to share our music with you tonight. Our next piece with the concert band is called American Visions. American Visions is a fast-paced and energetic composition featuring rousing brass fanfares, lively woodwind motives, and driving percussion. It was initially inspired to embody the sense of American vigor and patriotism. So if there's anyone in the audience who has served in our military services, we are very grateful for your service. This is American Visions. If you will give us just a quick moment, we will reset for our percussion ensemble. Give it up one more time for the concert band. Alrighty. So our next ensemble is our percussion ensemble, and this is a 6-period class. And what's wonderful about the percussion ensemble is you'll see half of them perform with the concert band and half of them perform with the wind ensemble, and then they also have an opportunity to learn percussion-only music. This first piece that we're going to perform is called Escape Artist. The art of escaping from restraints and confined spaces has been a skill employed by performers for a long time. Harry Houdini made no secret of the fact that he was an expert on restraints and the skills needed to overcome them, but he often concealed the exact details to maintain an air of mystery and suspense. Fun fact, while we are downstairs in the lower IRH rehearsing this music, in the upper IRH is the beginning string orchestra. So you can hear this dismay from Miss Miller and her string students as they are competing from violins to percussion. And unfortunately, sometimes our booming sounds overtake them. But this week we've been practicing in the auditorium so they could finally, rehearse in peace. But yeah. We're almost set up. You can see the percussion have quite a few things to move, which is always exciting. Our next piece is called Hume, and Hume is an Urdu word commonly used in India meaning dance. This piece is influenced by Indian pop, film, and techno music and explores different house music beats and their characteristic sporadic melodic material. Intertwined with this are signature Latin and Indian rhythmic patterns and grooves. Melodic and rhythmic motives play equal roles throughout the piece, using repetition to drive the music forward. Indian tonal ideas set the mood and add intrigue. Please enjoy June. All right, seated on stage now is our wind ensemble, and this is our advanced honors level group. And our first piece tonight for you is Sailing with Whales. It's a programmatic piece, meaning it tells a story. As Sailing with Whales begins, a trumpet fanfare accompanies the men and women who leave port and set out to sea on a crisp morning to search for the majestic orca whale. The main theme stated by the trombones follows them on their journey with these apex predators that no other animal dare prey on. This theme encompasses the thrilling search and once found subsequent trek with the whales in their natural habitat. The noble and majestic secondary theme captures a quieter time on the ocean as these highly social whales travel in pods on calmer waters as the sun begins to set. The next day, as the waves swell and the sailors try to keep up with the whales, the pace of the music accelerates to embody the speed of these ocean giants as they begin to move faster and faster. After a brief recapitulation of the music, the main thematic material, the piece comes to a riveting rhythmic conclusion. This is Sailing with Whales. Okay, our next piece is called Song for Lindsay. The composer writes this in the program notes. Song for Lindsay is a very personal work with a great deal of meaning to me. The musical materials for the work are mostly derived from a short piano piece that I wrote for my wife, Lindsay, in 2005. Although the structure of the work is much more complex than its forerunner, Song for Lindsay is still more than anything a simple love song dedicated to Lindsay, my wife, and what she has meant to me in my life. This features Scarlett on piano, a flute solo with August, and horn solo with Oliver. Please enjoy this simple love song, Song for Lindsay. Beautiful, right? It's very lovely. So again, congratulations, Scarlett on piano and Oliver in August. Beautiful solos. Before we play our final number tonight, I'd like to thank a couple people. First of all, our administration, and thank you to Dr. Hargis for being present at our concert tonight. Ms. Miller, I could go on and on for all the things I'm grateful. I hope you know how I feel. And to Ella Greider, providing all the lights in the deck, thank you so much for everything that you do, giving up your time and energy to make the concert look more special. To all the parents, thank you so much for giving up your Thursday evening to be with us tonight, braving the cold and the downtown traffic. Even if your child doesn't say thank you, it means the world to them, so I want you to know that. And I greatly appreciate your presence tonight. And to all the musicians currently on stage or seated, concert band, percussion ensemble, wind ensemble, bravo tonight. I'm so thankful for you and making music with you. It's certainly a treat, a highlight of my day every day. So we slowed it down, and now we're going to speed it up. Right? It's exciting. So our next and final piece is Danzas Cabanas, and it's a set of 3 original dance-like movements celebrating the joy and energy of Afro-Cuban music and the people of this island nation. The opening conga sets the mood, followed by a gentle and alluring son salsa. The closing dance is a fast-paced mambo. It's an excellent multicultural musical experience, and the 3 interconnected dances feature solos for piano with Scarlett, trombone with Tomas, flute, August, and trumpet with Thomas. So please enjoy Danzas Cabanas. you all have a great time at tonight's concert? Again, we're so grateful that you came out. Before I ask you to give it up one more time for all musicians tonight, next week, of course, is Thanksgiving. So I hope you have a great time with your friends and family, and always be thankful, not just on Thanksgiving, but every day of the year. But give it up one more time for the concert band.